Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Alyssa and it's finally summer. So today I'm going to give you guys some summer reading book recommendations. Does anyone else feel like this year's going by really fast? Because I feel like it is, but also I'm really glad it's summer. I'm not super the type of person who will like tailor my reading to the season. I do this on like 3 occasions and summer is one of them. The other is fall and Christmas time because I love a good Christmas holiday romance. But summer and fall, I feel like they give off such specific vibes and they can really shine through in the books you read. And yeah, so I feel like those are 2 seasons where I really do like to tailor the kind of books I read. That being said, I have a lot of summer reading recommendations because I've read a lot of summery books. I also have a bunch that are on my TBR, so I'm going to talk about some of them today as well. But first I'm going to go over the ones that I have read. And I have a lot of recommendations for you guys, so let's just get started. Okay, starting off with Emily Henry, I feel like a lot of her books give summer vibes, but I'm just going to talk about 3 of them today. So first I'm going to talk about Happy Place. I, first of all, love this book. This is actually one of my favorite of Emily Henry's books. Happy Place follows Harriet and Wynne. They were dating and then broke up for reasons that we don't know right at the beginning of the book, and their friend group doesn't know that they broke up, but they all go to this cottage like every year, but their friend group doesn't know that they broke up. So they pretend that they're still together and they have to share a room and everything. And then we get to see them rekindle their relationship. I loved the friend group in this, and I also really resonated with Harriet. So I like really loved this book, and obviously look at it, like it really gives summer vibes. So yeah, this is the first one that I would 100% recommend to read this summer if you haven't read it yet. Then we have Beach Read, also by Emily Henry. First of all, look how pretty this cover is. This is the UK edition. I went on a trip to the UK last year and I had already read this book, but I just loved this edition so much, so I bought it. Beach Read follows January and Gus. They're both writers and they have like really bad writer's block, and then they decide to swap genres. And so she writes in his genre and he writes in her genre, and they both write a book and see who can get published first. I love the premise of this book. Honestly, I read it so long ago that I think I might do a reread this summer. I have a few Emily Henry books that I want to do a reread of, but I think this one is like the first one I'll do because it's been a very long time since I read this book. And then the third Emily Henry book I wanted to mention is People We Meet on Vacation, because I really do feel like that's a good summer read. I don't have the physical copy, but I did really enjoy the book. I also really enjoyed the movie. If you guys have watched it, let me know your thoughts. I thought they did a really good job. I also love Tom Blythe, so that was a plus. People We Meet on Vacation is about Poppy and Alex. They are best friends, have been best friends for a really long time, and every summer they go on a vacation together until a falling out. And then Poppy convinces Alex to go on one more trip with her in the hopes that they can rekindle their friendship and then also confront the feelings that they have for each other. And it's kind of like a 2-in-1 because you got a summer book recommendation and a summer movie recommendation. Next book I wanted to mention is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I love this book so much. I think I've loved every single book by Abby Jimenez that I've read, honestly. I also love the plot of this book. So it's about Emma and Justin. They both feel like they have this curse because every single person that they date ends up finding their true love after they break up. So Emma and Justin find each other through Reddit, and then they decide, let's just date each other and break the curse. I thought that was such a funny, unique premise to a romance book, and yeah, this book really delivered. I really loved it. So definitely check it out if you haven't read it yet. Okay, the next few books I want to talk about I don't actually have physical copies for, so I will put an image on the screen. But the first one is The Unhoneymooners. I read this book a really long time ago, but I remember it definitely gave summer vibes, and I remember really enjoying it, so I thought I would definitely put it on this recommendation list. The Unhoneymooners is about Olive and Ethan, who are like sworn enemies, and they both go to this wedding, but everyone at the wedding except for them ends up getting food poisoning, and so the 2 of them end up getting this free honeymoon vacation to Hawaii where they have to pretend that they just got married. This was like such a fun read. If you're looking for just like a fun, easy summer read, I definitely recommend this one. Then we have The Summer of Broken Rules. I remember I read this book so fast because I was having such a fun time reading it. So it's about a girl named Meredith who returns to Martha's Vineyard for a family wedding, and this family always has an annual game of assassin, and so this year she ends up teaming up with the groomsmen of this wedding. Then yeah, she's also like grieving I think her sister passed away, and so it's not just like about the fun and games of Assassin and everything, it's also about like her healing journey and her grief. The next one I want to mention is Tropesick. This one I got an arc for. It like just came out. Tropesick follows Katie and Tyler. They were like childhood neighbors slash friends, and they end up not speaking for a really long time after a shared tragedy occurs. And then years later, they're unexpectedly brought back together to ghostwrite a romance novel for like a famous romance novelist. So yeah, I highly recommend this book, and because it just came out during the summer, I feel like it was a nice one to add in here. That way we have a very new release that not many people are talking about yet. And then for the last romance books I'm going to talk about in the book recommendation section, I basically want to recommend every single Carly Fortune book. All of her books give summer, so pick any and all of them and read them this summer if you haven't already. I don't have the physical copy for all of them, but I do have One Golden Summer, which I think is my favorite of Carly Fortune's books, honestly. I'm obsessed with this book. I love Charlie Florek with my whole heart. By the way, are you guys watching Every Year After? As I film this, I'm halfway through the show, and so far I'm really liking it. I'm having a good time. Let me know your thoughts. Also, Carly Fortune came to Ottawa for a book signing when this book came out, and I got my book signed. Look how cute. Very exciting. This is actually the first book that I've ever gotten signed. She was the first author I've ever met, so that was exciting. This book has a special place in my heart, but honestly it is, I think, my favorite. I'm also currently reading Our Perfect Storm, and so far I'm really liking it. I will say it's not my favorite. Like, I definitely preferred One Golden Summer over this one, but I'm having a good time and it's giving summer vibes, so I'm here for it. And I'm like really almost finished, so I'm probably gonna finish it today and I'm excited. Okay, those are all the romance ones I have for you. I have 2 fantasy recommendations. I feel like I was really trying to find fantasy books to recommend that give summer vibes, and I was struggling. I came up with 2, so that's what I'm gonna give you guys. The first is To Kill a Kingdom. This one is, I think it's oh my god, I read this book like so long ago. I don't exactly remember the plot of it, but I know that it's about like sirens and siren hunters. But I do think that gives off summer vibes because, you know, we got the ocean, we got ships. I also remember really enjoying this book, and I feel like not a lot of people talk about it, so yeah, To Kill a Kingdom. And then the other fantasy book recommendation I have is Tress of the Emerald Sea. Let me read you the synopsis. So it says, the only life Tress has known on her island home in an emerald green ocean has been a simple one, with the simple pleasures of collecting cups brought by sailors from faraway lands and listening to stories told by her friend Charlie. But when his father takes him on a voyage to find a bride and a disaster strikes, Tress must stow away on a ship and seek the sorceress of the deadly Midnight Sea. Amid the spore oceans where pirates abound, can Tress leave her simple life behind and make her own place sailing a sea where a single drop of water can mean instant death? I love this book. If you guys know me, you know I love Brandon Sanderson. He's one of my favorite authors. I will read anything this man writes. I also wanted to get a mystery thriller on here, and the one that I feel like best fits the summer vibe is Listen for the Lie. This book I listened to on audio and I really enjoyed it. I honestly feel like if you have the opportunity to listen to the audiobook for this one, you should. It has like a podcast element, and so I thought that was really cool. Listen for the Lie follows Lucy. She basically becomes famous for being the suspected murderer of her best friend, but she has no memories of what happened the night that her friend died. And then years later, a true crime podcast host ends up reopening the case and trying to uncover what actually happened. And so the two of them work together to discover what really happened that night. This was a fun mystery. I really enjoyed the book as a whole, and I highly recommend the audiobook. We have reached my final recommendation before I talk about some of the books that are on my summer TBR. And this one is a literary fiction by another one of my favorite authors of all time, and that is My Friends by Fredrik Backman. I've talked about Fredrik Backman on my channel before as well. He is one of my favorite authors, but I loved this book so much and I feel like it gives summer vibes, so I wanted to include it in this video. I feel like any description I could give of this book wouldn't do it justice, so I'm going to read you the blurb for the book. So it says, most people don't even notice them, 3 tiny figures sitting at the end of a long pier in the corner of one of the most famous paintings in the world. Most people think it's just a depiction of a wide expanse of sea, but Louisa, soon to be 18 years old and an aspiring artist herself, knows otherwise. She's determined to find out the story behind these three enigmatic figures. More than 2 decades before, in a distant seaside town, a group of teenagers find refuge from their bruising home lives by spending long summer days on an abandoned pier, telling silly jokes, sharing secrets, and committing small acts of rebellion. These lost souls find in each other a reason to get up every morning, a reason to dream, a reason to love. Out of that summer emerges a transcendent work of art, a painting that, after a chance encounter in an alleyway, will unexpectedly be placed into Louisa's care. She embarks on a surprise-filled cross-country journey to discover how the painting came to be and to decide what to do with it. The closer she gets to the painting's birthplace, the more anxious she becomes about what she'll find. Louisa's complicated life is proof that happy endings are sometimes possible, but they don't always take the form we expect them to. I gave this book 5 stars. I loved it, and I feel like summer is the perfect time to read it. So if you haven't picked this book up yet, please pick it up this summer because it's truly amazing. So I hope you guys got some good recommendations from those. I hope there are some on there that you haven't read yet that you're gonna give a shot this summer. And now I'm gonna talk about some of the ones that I want to read. So let me know if you've read these. Give me your thoughts in the comments and tell me which one I should read first because I'm super indecisive and I'm not gonna know which one to start with. So give me your thoughts, please. So the first one is Problematic Summer Romance. I've heard a lot about this book and I feel like summer is the perfect time to read this one. I have actually heard that the audio is good, so I might listen to this one on audio. Let me know if that's a good idea or not. I believe this is a brother's best friend romance and then they end up like staying in a villa together, so we got forced proximity. I don't really remember exactly, but I have heard really good things about this book, so I'm hoping to get to this one soon. The next one is kind of a new addition to my TBR because I've been hearing some good things about it recently, and that's Seven Summers. I don't really know what it's about, if I'm being honest, but I have heard that it's pretty heart-wrenching, so I might need to be in the right mood to read this book, but I do want to read it this summer. Let me know if you've read this book and your thoughts. Then we have The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I do love Christina Lauren books, and I feel like this one is a very good summer read. Whenever I watch like summer read book recommendation videos, I feel like this one is often on there, and the fact that I still haven't read it yet is kind of crazy. So I need to get to this one soon. And then the last one is Wild Dark Shore. I've been hearing a lot of good things about this book. I believe it's a mystery, so different than the other ones that I have on my TBR, but I really want to read this one. And the premise, I remember when I read it, seemed super interesting. I'm pretty sure it's basically about this family that lives on this isolated island, and then one day there's like a huge storm and a mysterious woman washes up on the shore. I'm very intrigued by this book and I really want to read it. So those are the ones that are on my TBR summer priority list. I really hope I can get to all of them this summer, to be honest, but we'll see. That's gonna bring us to the end of this video, so I hope you got some good recommendations from it. And also, if you have other summer book recommendations that I have not talked about in this video, please comment them down below because I really want to expand my summer TBR reading list. So please, please, please give me some recommendations. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.